Welcome back. Now, Mother's Day can be a particularly difficult time for those who have lost a child. So how do you cope if you find yourself in that situation?
Well, Ger O'Brien, psychotherapist and director of services with the charity First Light, joins us now to discuss. Ger, very good morning.
Morning, Ger.
Good morning.
And what we appreciate is a very difficult day for you. And we might explain to the viewer, before we get to First Light and the wonderful work that you do at First Light, while many are celebrating today, it's a particularly sad day for so many people.
Sure.
And your story is absolutely tragic. You lost two of your children.
Yeah.
Tell us about your story, Ger.
Well, we lost Tony, our eldest son, our only child at the time, just a week after his first birthday, from an undiagnosed brain tumour. And we went on to have two more children, Ellie and Mikey. And Mikey was killed, how long ago is it? 11 years ago.
Okay, he was 17.
Yeah, he was killed in a car crash.
God, you just can't prepare. I mean, I'm sure viewers out there are thinking, dealing with the loss of one child and then...
And to start again.
To start all over again, the whole grieving process. Not that it ever goes away, I'm sure.
No. Well, you do learn to live with it, and you learn that you can be happy and sad in the same second, you know. It was very funny, I suppose it's black humour, Irish humour, but somebody, when Mikey came home for the wake, I suppose, somebody says to me, you know, in a wager, you're lucky. And I says, what? How would you... And I looked at my 17-year-old child dead. And she says, well, you know what you have to go through this time.
Amazing, isn't it? The things that people say.
And plus, think that's
quite often at funerals, you try and say the right thing and it can come out the wrong way.
Absolutely.
And you're good-humoured enough to be able to not take it personally. But what you have done with your own grief is incredible, and that's why we're talking about First Light and what they do. But you were giving us during the break the background of that. Explain that to the viewer, Ger.
Well, the Irish Sudden Infant Death Association, it was started as that, ISIDA, and that was set up for people who lost cot death, so, or children through cot death. So I suppose it would have been about 5-6 years ago, I found that I was getting calls from people apologising because the child didn't die from a cot death or it wasn't an infant, but could they have support? And I thought at the time, it's bad enough your child is dead and you're apologising, but could they have support? And so then I went to our board and explained that this was happening an awful lot and parents shouldn't have to apologise.
For looking for help and support.
And so we rebranded into First Light. And it's getting out there now is the thing, you know.
You offer an incredible range of services, but essentially at the heart of it, it's help and support and someone to talk to, and someone who listen to you. And someone who can give you, I don't know whether tips or advice is the right word, but steps.
Oh, yeah, it's exactly that.
Along the process. Can we talk through some of those, Ger?
Yeah, sure.
In terms of the advice you're giving people, particularly on a day like today. Acknowledge that you're a mother.
Absolutely. And especially if you have no other children. You know, you can't mother. You're still a mother, but you can't perform the mother role.
Of course.
So
that's so hard for people to do, though, Ger, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think one of the things, especially when you're going through Mother's Day for the first time after your loss, like some people think, well, I'll bring them out. It's the worst thing you can do is to go into a restaurant and see families and them all sitting around a table and you've no child.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course, okay.
So, but I would always say to people, acknowledge it to yourself. It doesn't matter what age the child was. If the child was died from a miscarriage, you are still a mother. The intention was to have that baby. So
the temptation is to kind of cancel things, and I remember from my own experience when my mother died, and she died 3 weeks before Christmas.
Right.
And we were looking at Christmas coming up, and you're thinking, well, we'll just forget about it. And my dad, who's since passed away, but I remember him saying, no, you carry on. You know, you don't take any photographs down. You know, you get back into your routine. Have your Christmas as if she was still here and acknowledge that. Just deal with it and get on with it.
And you would go as far as to buy yourself flowers, Ger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can, if you feel strong enough.
You bring yourself
or
to it, yeah.
for somebody to, I remember the first Mother's Day when Tony died, and I remember saying to my husband, really, don't buy me anything for Mother's Day. I don't want
You don't want to acknowledge it, do you?
Yeah,
Because
it was
it's too difficult.
painful. But on the day, I wanted something. And my
course you did,
sister
yeah.
actually, would you believe, bought me a little cactus. And that was so precious. A naughty little thing, but still.
Take time for yourself during the day and encourage others to mention the child's name.
Absolutely.
Often a thing that people around you aren't sure
Yes.
about.
Yeah, because you think then, if I say their name, are they going to cry? And I've upset them.
Yeah.
They're upset anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
They want
yeah.
their child to be acknowledged, especially on Mother's Day.
And spend the day, you say, with the ones you love.
Yeah, absolutely. That you're safe
your
around.
inbuilt support group.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's one thing, and I push parents for it, be proactive. You can't change the death.
No.
But you can change how you grieve.
Yes,
You know,
of
and
course.
that's so important.
Remember, you're not alone. So pick up the phone to the likes of yourself.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure anything that they have to say, it won't be the first time that you've heard it.
No.
And also, they're in good company because you have literally lived.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
lived it.
Yeah. And I suppose for bereaved parents, the one thing that they hate is, I know what you're feeling. We were talking about
Yes.
it earlier. And when somebody hasn't experienced it, they don't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Well,
and
they
it's
can only
insulting.
imagine, can't they?
Yes.
But they don't actually.
And
know.
it's your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Let's face it, you know. But don't ever, like for someone who hasn't, don't be afraid, oh, now I'm after saying the name, I'm after reminding them.
Yeah.
It's there all the time.
It is,
The
yeah.
pain and the loss, you know. And just because the person has cried, it's not because you make them cry.
Of course,
You know,
it's part
they're
of the
grieving.
process,
Tell us
isn't
how
it?
people can get in touch with you guys.
We have a helpline. It's 1850 391 391. That would be on all today. And if they don't feel like even talking, send us an email to support@firstlight.ie.
We have the website up on the screen at the
Great.
moment,
And
so
you
I'm
can
sure
also-
all your details are
Yeah.
there as well.
You
Yeah.
can also, sorry, and you can also point people in the right direction in terms of if they need further counselling, because you do one-on-one
Yeah.
counselling,
We
you do
do.
group therapy, you do couples therapy. There's a whole range of
Yeah.
services that are there.
Yeah. And it's not that, you know, I always say to parents, it's not that you have to do this, do it our way, like the First Light way.
Yeah.
We'll work to what you want and
Yeah.
your family need. You
And
know,
we work at your speed too.
absolutely.
If you're not ready for the next step, that's your decision.
It's case by case.
Absolutely,
Can we just
100%.
tell viewers before we go, we haven't mentioned your daughter Ellie.
Yes.
And I'm sure viewers will go, oh, so delighted she
Yeah.
has another
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
And she
She's
is
fantastic.
close and you have a lovely relationship.
We have a great relationship. Yeah, yeah. I'm very proud of her.
Lovely.
And
lovely.
she is of you.
I wonder
Yeah,
if the
no
flowers
doubt.
arrived yet
Oh, well, yeah, check when you
from
go.
the islands. Yeah.
Get on it, Ellie, quickly. We're so sorry for your loss. We think you're
Thank you.
incredibly brave to come in.
thank you.
And
And
happy
thank you for
Mother's
coming
Day.
in.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Cher.